super cheap Temu Upholstery, air quotes, fabric. Is it any good? It's dirt cheap. Can we make it look good in a car? I'm not putting it on the Z. I've just spent £3,000 on that interior. I'm going to do it on this. This is my daily, a little 2004 Civic EU. I guess you could say it's the little sister of the EP3. It's still got a good 1.6 VTEC, but no one's ever going to look at this car and think, I wonder what's in the boot. And this particular one's not a lot to look at. The wheels are a state. There's some very questionable carbon fibre wrapping around the stereo. The bodywork is at least 4 different shades of blue. And it's all just very standard. So it's time to change that and see if we can make this car look a load better with next to no budget. And first up, Temu Upholstery fabric. So this is what we're dealing with today. This is a big wave design, and it's called the black and blue, but it's actually brown. But I don't think that matters. I think that's going to work, and the hints of blue should flow into this car all right. But the question is, even though this is dirt cheap material, it's like super thin, it's self-adhesive, can it look all right when applied well to the inside of a car? So what we're going to do is these on the front doors and see how we can do it. And we're going to try and do it without removing the panel, just to make it a little bit more of a challenge. And all I'm going to be using is the 2 tools that came with it, these kind of like presser tools, a couple of knives and some upholstery scissors. These upholstery scissors cost more than all of the material that I bought. Yeah, literally any time now it's due to start raining, so I can't faff. I've just got to get this done. I've given it a quick wipe down, so hopefully there's not too much stuff on here, but yeah, it's not perfect, and I'm sure if you were doing this, yours would probably not be perfect. If you're using Temu fabric, I guess there's always going to be a line. Right, so what I'm going to start by doing is just cutting a rough sized panel. I've not used this material before, so I'm learning with this as much as anybody else is. So my plan of attack with this is trying to be pretty quick. Is going to be get the majority of the panel kind of lay, cut close to where these edges of these plastic bits are underneath, get the tucking tools out and tuck it all underneath, and then tuck the edges. We'll probably tuck the edges first and then tuck that. I'd say let's not faff about, let's just get straight into it. First thing you notice is this is very, very thin material, which is kind of what I expected. And it's very adhesive. It's very tacky. Let's start with a bit there. Make sure I've got enough to cover that end. Oh. Does that go all the way over? No. Okay, I think that's pretty good placement. Start by tacking that point. And usually when I use adhesive wraps like this, you do it in a very similar way that you would do a vinyl wrap. Kind of lay a line and then stretch away from that one laid point. So here, this is like the biggest flat part of this this panel. So get that bit lay, and here we can just stretch it up over everything. That sticking up is a little bit of a pain. I know, I can cut around it now. Just being careful not to cut too much, because otherwise you don't have the material to shove underneath, and that's what we really want to make sure we've got. So let's get this top edge like lay. So if I use this tool to create a sharp edge along here where the weather seal is, I could do one of two things. I could either just get a knife into that and cut it, but there's a chance you'll see the fray, or you can just use it as a guide to then cut just above that line, which means you've got a little bit then you can tuck under. That will be the better way of doing it, so we're going to do that. Even with all the years of experience of upholstery I have, this is not very neat, but it'll be fine. Take our two tools, use one to lift the weather shield, if I can get under there, and then the second one to tuck it. There's our top seaming. This bottom edge is probably going to work a bit differently because I'm not going to be able to get scissors in, I don't think. Maybe I will, I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, much like vinyl wrap, start at your point where you've laid it or adhesive already, and then just stretch it in the direction it needs to go. So if we look close in here, this is my next line, comes down and then it starts to twist in here below the handle. So if I get rid of this bit, then I can start to tuck it. So again, I just want to remove the excess. Careful not to cut that at an angle where I might actually need that fabric. We've tucked and cut this edge, and I've started to cut this bottom edge using a blade, so we've got it all the way tucked in. Just running a blade nice and deep in and straight down. So this edge, there's like a lip here, so we'll just fold it just beyond that lip, and then I'm going to scissor cut it and tuck it. It's coming together, dare I say, all right. Questions of taste aside, of course. Okay, so what I need to do is get this bottom edge down and then get this top edge underneath this grip handle. So I need to get up into this corner, but you can't do it while you've got all this excess material. So I'm just going to cut the bottom one, same as we did before. Bottom edge with the blade into like the recess. Okay, get all those edges tucked. Shoving it all in to those recesses. Just slowly working my way around this edge. It's not perfect, but I think it's all right. Okay, now let's just figure out these bits. So I don't want to cut all the way to the edge. Again, I just want to come just inside it. Okay, so you can see it's pretty close to the edge. Now we're just going to try and lift and tuck again. So the advantage of using material like this that's cheap is that it's really thin. So actually getting it into crevices like this is much easier. Oh, there we go. Boom! That, my friends, is that done. take a look at it. I mean, it's definitely going to split the court of public opinion on taste, whether you think that JDM style stuff is, you know, cool or gauche. But if this is what you're going for, like me, who's about to build a really inexpensive EP3 5-door clone out of this car, I think it's not bad. But how did I find the material itself? It is what it is, you know, it's a printed cotton. It has very, very little stretch, but it applies dead easily. The adhesion is decent. Because it is so thin, it tucks behind stuff, as you've just seen, really, really easily. And, you know, if you like the print and the pattern, I know, it's not bad, really. You could do a lot worse for more money. Let me know what you think. Is it a keep or is it a yeet? Yeah, where is your taste in this thing? Whatever you do with the rest of your day, folks, have a wicked one, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, peeps. Bye-bye.